Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage, Jamie Levitt.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to ask for your attention for really the most important part of today's lunch. Sorry, Matt. Text to pledge also important. So I get to say this is really an honor that I have been hoping to bestow for such a long time, and it is truly with the greatest honor and admiration that I get to talk to all of you today about John Siffert. John is my mentor, my friend, and a former chair of New York Lawyers Board, where he has served for more than 20 years. As everyone I think in this room knows, John is a true leader of our profession in every sense of the word. His accomplishments in the law are extraordinary, his empathy for others unrivaled, and his moral code exemplary. Chambers properly described John as nothing less than a classic counselor who is also a superb trial lawyer. He is a law firm founder, an author, a teacher, a fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers. And in addition to numerous civil and criminal trials and countless appellate arguments, John has served as a mediator, arbitrator, special master, and has made virtually every who's who and top 100 best lawyers list, certainly too many for me to name here today. Now, John is also a devoted husband to his wife, Goldie, a distinguished clinical psychologist, an ever-present father to his sons, David, the director of research at NYU's Center of Civil Justice, and Matthew, an accomplished songwriter, musician, and performer. We can all get the next gig. And I really want everyone just to thank Goldie, David, Matt, John's sister, Joan, and all of their partners for joining us today in celebration of John. So on top of all of that, as if it weren't enough, John's generous commitment to improving the legal profession and helping those less fortunate through board service, bar associations, and pro bono legal work is an example for all of us. As John once said, if I add up my billable hours at year end and I see that 1/3 of my time is on pro bono and bar association activities, I think I have the balance about right. And we all should consider that balance. But since you can read all of this and more in John's bio and the many testimonials written about him, what I want to tell you about and focus on is John's true superpower. John is a creator of confidence. John has that rare ability to instill confidence in others in a way that makes them believe in themselves and achieve to their fullest potential. And that is particularly so when it comes to advancing the careers of women in our profession. Soon after I joined the board of New York Lawyers, John told me he was confident one day I would be chair. John planted that seed a long time ago and continued over the years to remind me of my potential and give me the confidence to accept the role when the time was right. And when I became chair, it was always John who, with a supportive email, helpful words, an actual snail mail letter, took the time to make me feel like I was doing a good job. And when New York Lawyers tragically lost its former executive director, John was the pillar of support for the then chair, the board, and the staff. He yet again gave us the confidence that New York Lawyers would remain strong and its commitment to community lawyering would continue, and you all see that it has. So I want to just add that my experience is very far from unique. I have spoken to so many of you in this room and elsewhere who all echo the same sentiments. In a quiet, but incredibly effective and strong way, John uses his powers to impart confidence and make us and all of the communities that he touches that much better. Indeed, given John's superpower, it is no surprise that Justice Sonia Sotomayor turned to John for assistance in her Supreme Court confirmation process. And when she was interviewed about John in connection with the Second Circuit's Professionalism Award that he won, Justice Sotomayor described John as the consummate lawyer and the quintessential mentor. She noted that when people talk about his career, his legal skills, his scholarship, and his public service, none of what you will be told about John and his work will be hyperbole. Well, that is certainly the truth. From truly the bottom of my heart and with the most sincere appreciation and admiration, I am honored to present John Siffert with the 2020 New York Lawyers for the Public Interest Law and Society Award for his resolute commitment to equity for all New Yorkers and his ongoing fight for justice. John, will you join me?
Do you want to get out of here? Sit down. Why don't you put it there? Well, thank you. Those of us who remember the election of JFK in 1960 and the March on Washington in 1963 believed that we could change the world for the better. After Kennedy was murdered in November of 1963, hope was hard to find. The events of 1968 made it even harder. There was the Tet Offensive. Martin Luther King was assassinated. There was rioting in the streets and riots on campuses. Those of us still standing were shattered when Bobby Kennedy was gunned down on the kitchen floor of the Ambassador Hotel. The nation was divided. It was divided between those who wanted change at any cost and those who objected to change at any cost. Mayor Daley directed his police to attack protesters and drag them off to jail. J. Edgar Hoover directed the FBI to spy on and disrupt anti-war protesters, claiming that they were allied with the Soviet Union. Some felt it wasn't worthwhile, it didn't pay to speak out. After all, no one listened, and if they did, they would call you a communist. In 1969, David Crosby captured the moment in his song, "It's a Long Time Coming." Some of you may remember the lyrics sung by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I'll spare you the singing, but you know there's something that's going on around here that surely, surely, surely won't stand the light of day. The song went on to implore the new generation and the old guard, speak out. You got to speak out against the madness. You got to speak your mind if you dare. But don't know, try to get yourself elected. If you do, you had better cut your hair. Well, it's time again to speak out, especially for those of us who have finally cut our hair, and for those who no longer have theirs. We are here to celebrate NYLPI precisely because NYLPI speaks out. What's special about NYLPI, as you've heard, is that NYLPI doesn't purport to know what's wrong and what needs fixing. Rather, NYLPI works with its clients to figure out what's broken and how it should be fixed. NYLPI's clients are the underserved communities of New York. Those communities have told NYLPI what needs fixing. It's health justice, ensuring that drugstores are accessible to people with handicaps and disabilities. It's environmental justice, stopping the practice of building waste transfer stations only in communities of the most vulnerable. And it's education justice, advocating for the rights of students with disabilities in public schools. By contributing to today and by showing up today, you have spoken out. You are supporting the efforts of the amazing staff of NYLPI to make New York a better place for the underserved. I'd like just to take a moment to ask all of the staff members to just stand up briefly. And while they do, let me tell you who they are. Some are experts. I like it when you high-five each other. Good. While you deserve that. While you stand there, let me tell you who they are. Some are experts in community organizing. Some lobby legislators in Albany and in the City Council. Some testify at legislative and administrative proceedings. Some partner with law firms and in-house counsel to find the best solution for the problems facing the underserved communities. When all else fails, NYLPI and its partner law firms advocate in court on behalf of people who cannot advocate for themselves. Now, we know that an independent judiciary is our best hope for justice for all. That is why it means so much that so many state and federal judges have come today. You are the crown jewels of our criminal and civil justice system. Your personal sacrifice, yes. Your personal sacrifice in the service of the rule of law is truly humbling. I cannot thank you all by name, so I'll single out Robert Katzman, our Chief Judge of the Second Circuit. Chief Judge Katzman has done more to teach communities about the role of the courts, and I'm deeply honored and grateful to all of the judges here today for taking the time to come. It means more than I can say. Speaking of thank yous, Jamie, thank you. Thank you for your kind introduction and for the splendid job you're doing with this great organization. Standing here also makes me remember. I remember our beloved Michael Rothenberg, whose widow Zerlene is here, and she told me that she was the one who actually picked out the tie that Michael gave me some 15 years ago. Michael made NYLPI the paradigm for community lawyering. Under McGregor's leadership, NYLPI is now the gold standard. I also remember Debbie Batts, a treasured friend who served as a federal judge with distinction and compassion until her untimely death just 10 days ago. I congratulate David, I don't see where you are, Sapolsky, my co-honoree, about whom you'll hear more in a moment. David, I consider myself enhanced to be on the same bema as you. Permit me to give a shout out to my partners and colleagues at Lankler, Siffert, and Wohl. They are the best lawyers. I am blessed to practice with the best lawyers. They possess that rare combination of character and talent. They care so much about their clients, and they have the skills to deliver the best for their clients. Mostly, I thank my wife Goldie for being, for being the love and heartbeat of my life, and my children David and Matt, and their partners Annie and Delaram, And of course, now I can stop crying, my sister. And our surrogate daughter, Leanne. Thank you for your love and support. Finally, I thank each and every one of you for your support of NYLPI. By coming out today and sharing this ceremony with me, you have made this a very special occasion for me. Thank you.